All right, so real quick Orbi report. Uh, I spent most of today following up on the shields I stripped yesterday. There's this cluster of four stations right next to Turnback ITC, and I managed to bring one down to Hull. I had a Celios jump on me on the second one, though, which I had a fun little chase. I was in a tornado. He was in the Celios. I got him. I got him to I think the closest he got was 20 kilometers, and he took a chunk of my shields. So I knew, even with all my hardeners, that it wasn't a fight I could take. Still, he didn't pin me down. So folks don't use long points. It's kind of nice. Everybody's focused on scramblers. And if you can use bookmarks and ninjutsu, there's nothing they can really do until they get within 18 kilometers on the outside, 15 average, give or take. And I think the reason they want to use scramblers is everybody relies on micro warp drives to move around. Afterburners are half as good ish. Anyway, I'm rambling. Also, I found a midway point between what's it called? Demon Head ITC, over by Rag and Bone Mansion, and where I've been posting up near Shiboba Point. So I've got a trade route I could potentially use there between Turnback ITC and Demon Head. And basically so when I was making Alpha Life like that, I was using Demon Head as my timeout zone. It's Serpentis Prime, so it's out in the boonies, and there's only two routes back into there's two short routes back into civilized space, right? And both of those are pretty much constantly bubbled. So it was a lot of fun for smuggling, because it's a bottleneck, and folks know it's a bottleneck. So what they do is they post minerals for sale super cheap. Folks buy the minerals, and it brings them content. And if you can get them through the blockades, you get a pretty hefty ISK reward and the minerals, especially if you're the one who bought them. Otherwise, you get stuck holding the bag. It's a risky play, but there's one route that almost always had an impossible blockade, and another one that was patrolled by fiends and other heavy interdictors more often than not. I liked the heavy interdictor route, and I had a couple really close fights. Someone tried to decloak me in a dreadnought. Or no, it was a carrier. It was a carrier because it had thrashers. It had thrasher fighters that dropped the cloak on my little cryos, and I managed to jump away. I was pre-aligned, and I got out of there before he could lock on. But it was kind of weird having a full-on thrasher as a drone drop my cloak. This is back when I was writing Alpha, Orion's Belts, Alpha Life. But yeah, I've got that circuitous route around the southern side of Null from Turnback ITC out to Demon Head, with a few pit stops along the way. Trailer Park. What was the other one? Oh, Uwu. And Ink Plot. Rorschach Ridge. Yeah. So I'm going to start stationing ships all along that route and basically use that for exploration, compressed space, farming, because there's a lot of T10s that I noticed spawn out where SOV isn't active. There's also AOA, R2D2, MEOW. MEOW is huge out there. There's a ton of targets. It's a very target-rich environment. And that's not even counting the independent corps. There's a whole bunch of little onesie-twosies just floating around out there. That's how I found that cluster of four Russians. It's HRT is the name of their corp, and I'm gonna check out that one that I got down to Hull in a week. Timer's in 6 days. I'll keep checking in on it and keep trying to strip the shields and armor off the other three, just so I have multiple targets. I don't think that Salios was related to HRT, like the corp, but it was cool having, you know, just a faction cruiser try and chase down the battle cruiser. And it was just a stock NATO. It wasn't anything fancy. But battle cruisers are really underrated. How y'all doing tonight? Good. Yeah, battle cruisers are super underrated, and it drives me crazy how like whale heavy the game is. They had that new the Telemachus drop yesterday, which cool name. Like I love the reference, Odysseus' son, but overpriced. Folks don't actually use Sister of Thieves ships for exploration. Like everybody plays solo, and that's not energy efficient. That's not ship efficient. And those aren't really, like, you can use them for combat, but they're too risky. They're prize ships. It's whale's gonna whale. Anyway, that's everything for Orby for the last few days, I think. I've been kicking around the idea of like overlapping East of Ares with the pilots that I wrote about in Orion's Belts, just because like I love the idea of having game-based stories, especially like solo RPGs, and I'm cruising on like a tactical module for East of Ares. I'm really happy with how the characters are statted out. I'm really happy with like how how they interact with a hex-based grid using nodes instead of the actual hexes, especially for a D3-1 based combat system. So yeah, Orion's Belts is going to war. East of Ares is coming along, and I'm not fully recovered from the lost writing on Dead Saint songs, but I'm cruising, changing things. I got to riff on like IPA names and silly beer jokes for a bit earlier today, but I think I'm still limping after losing all that work. Hopefully I put in more time tonight. I'll probably end up mining. I need to start filling out Shiboba Point. Oh, I had a massive so because of the Telemachus dropping, Plex went to its weekly max, which it's disappointing because the demand went over the max for sure. There were like hundreds of orders at max price. I only sold like 65 or so, but still it was enough to like manufacture a whole mess of smaller ships, which I'm gonna flip. And really, so manufacturing smaller ships, it's all about converting minerals. The reason why tritanium is so low, it's valued at 1 to sell, 2 for resting bitch price, is because no one's manufacturing small ships. Everybody's manufacturing within corporations. All the old grognards from EVE Online brought like good organizational sanitation like to the game. But being able to convert minerals, especially when they're so readily available in compressed space, is free money. I bought a whole bunch of planetary materials just to like get the ball rolling there, and I'm not sure if that was the right play, but I really want the stock to play with. So I don't mind losing out on the 65 Plex if I can't like rebuy it. But the price has already dropped back down about $1.5 million. So I don't feel too terrible about it, especially since I believe the price will remain relatively stable for the next 2 weeks or so. It's usually the way things go. Folks start building the big fancy whale ships, especially with all the box drops and the gambling. Like they're using the R for boxes, not for Plex. So I expect the demand to dip and then rise back up before the 20th of next month ish. Give it a month, basically. So yeah, hopefully I can convert and sell over the next 2 weeks. I should have enough to get that 65 back and then some, and if I don't, I'll just farm. Farming stations only pays out if you get them though, so we'll see how things shake out over the next week. Otherwise, I'm thinking about jumping in on the AOA versus MEOW war. I'm right stationed dead center between the two. I don't see why I should pick a side. I kind of want to go against all targets and see if I can like play them off each other. I just want fights. I just want people to chase my little battle cruisers around, or my stealth bombers. And that's the Orby report for today and the last few days. How have you been? Hopefully you're having a good one. Thanks, and bye.